Bread labels look healthy fast, but between supermarket promos, confusing front-of-pack messaging, and the occasional recall, it's easy to buy the wrong loaf on repeat. The ACCC has warned that pricing tactics can make value harder to judge, and FSANZ recall alerts show labelling mistakes still happen. Today, we're counting down 9 bread brands, 3 to avoid and 6 that are better buys, using evidence from FSANZ, the ACCC, Heart Foundation guidance, the Health Star rating system, and independent consumer surveys. Number 9. Margaret River Bakery. This one is a straight safety-based avoid, especially if anyone in your household has allergies. FSANZ published a recall alert on the 27th of November 2025 for multiple Margaret River Bakery bread products because sesame wasn't declared on the label. Undeclared allergens are one of the most common reasons foods get pulled back, and sesame is a serious allergen for some people. What makes this practical, not dramatic, is that this isn't about whether the bread tastes good. It's about whether the label can be trusted when it matters. FSANZ Allergen Labelling Guidance for Businesses, published 30 September 2025, is clear that allergen declarations need to be accurate and easy to identify. When a brand misses that, the safest move is to treat it as a default skip, at least until there's a long, clean run with no repeat issues. If you still buy from small bakeries, the safest habit is to buy only when you can see a full ingredient list and allergen statement. Then double check it every time, because packaging and suppliers change. That's not paranoia. That's just applying the same trust the label standard FSANZ is asking industry to meet. Number 8. Mexim Australia. FSANZ published a recall alert on 24th of June 2025 for Mexim Australia's Mughlai paratha due to undeclared egg. Paratha is still a bread-style staple for a lot of households, and this is exactly the kind of product people bulk buy and keep in the freezer, meaning the risk hangs around longer than a fresh loaf does. This wasn't only a single site notice. The recall appears through state channels too. For example, NSW Food Authority and SA Health both carried recall notices for this same product, which is useful because it shows the issue was treated as a real consumer warning, not a quiet manufacturer swap out. Again, the point isn't to panic about one product. The point is that healthy shopping starts with basics. If a brand has a recent undeclared allergen recall on a bread product, it's a sensible default to avoid that brand in your weekly rotation, particularly for families managing allergies, asthma, or kids' lunchboxes, where accidental exposure is more likely. Number 7. Canstar Bakers. FSANZ published a recall alert on 30 May 2025 for Canstar Bakers' frozen cream bun and cream roll because soy wasn't declared. Soy is another major allergen, and undeclared soy is exactly the kind of thing that can catch people out because it's not always obvious from taste or appearance. Here's why it matters for healthy bread shopping, even if you never buy cream buns. It's a reminder that the label is your safety net, and when a brand has demonstrated a failure in allergen disclosure, you shouldn't assume the next product in their range is labelled perfectly either. FSANZ Business Guidance on Allergen Labelling, published the 3rd September 2025, exists because this is a known risk area, and recalls show the system isn't flawless. So, for the avoid list today, it's simple. Recent official allergen recalls on bread-style products equal not a default buy. Now let's move into the 6 better picks, where the evidence is less about one-off incidents and more about consistent performance and smarter choosing. Before number 6, one quick grounding point. Heart Foundation's Heart Healthy Eating Advice, published in 2025, consistently pushes people toward whole grains and higher fibre choices. And Health Direct's 2025 guidance on healthier swaps says to choose whole grain options over refined grains where possible. That doesn't mean you can never eat white bread. It means if you're paying healthy bread money, you want the loaf to actually earn it. And to make comparisons fair, the Health Star Rating System's official guidance, updated December 2025, and FSANZ labelling guidance, published September 2025, both point you back to the same idea. Compare like for like, and use the standardised nutrition panel and ingredient list rather than front-of-pack storytelling. Number 6, Baker's Life, which is Aldi's bread range. This is the best value while still playing at smart pick. In Canstar Blue's 2026 wholemeal bread ratings, Baker's Life was named Most Satisfied Customers overall, and it also won for value for money. That matters because bread is a repeat purchase. Saving even a small amount per loaf adds up fast across a year. Now, the key is not to blindly grab the cheapest loaf and call it healthy. Use the system that's already there. The Health Star Rating Guidance, updated in 2025, explains how the rating is designed to help compare similar packaged foods, and FSANZ 2025 labelling guidance explains the standardised information you can rely on across brands. So with Baker's Life, the move is to aim for the wholemeal or grainy option. Then check the nutrition panel for fibre and sodium and compare per 100 grams, not per slice, because slices vary wildly. If you want a simple decision rule, it's this. Buy the loaf that makes it easiest to follow the heart health pattern, meaning more whole grains and less ultra-salty, soft and fluffy bread. Heart Foundation's 2025 advice on salt is blunt. Lowering salt helps manage blood pressure, and packaged breads can be a sneaky contributor, so checking sodium on the nutrition panel is worth the 5 seconds. Number 5, Coles. Coles makes this list for 2 reasons: range clarity and strong mainstream satisfaction data. Canstar Blue's 2026 wholemeal bread ratings notes multiple Coles wholemeal options in market, including a wholemeal sandwich loaf, a high-fibre wholemeal loaf, and a country loaf wholemeal. That kind of range matters because you can match the bread to the job: sandwiches, toast, or something with more texture. But here's the investigative bit. Don't assume on special equals good value. The ACCC's Supermarkets Inquiry final report, published 21st of March 2025, warned that pricing and promotions can make it harder for shoppers to assess value. And the ACCC's court action, announced 19th February 2024, alleged Coles used down-down discount messaging in a way that could mislead consumers about whether prices were actually reduced. You don't need to follow every detail of a court case to use the lesson. Compare unit price per 100 grams, and don't let a promo label do the thinking. So Coles is a buy brand when you use it correctly. Pick the wholemeal or high-fibre wholemeal option. Check the nutrition panel, and let the standardised label information win over buzzwords. That approach is exactly what FSANZ's labelling guidance is trying to support. Consistent information, so consumers can compare fairly. Number 4, Woolworths. Woolworths is here because it's one of the easiest brands to apply a consistent system to. In Canstar Blue's 2026 wholemeal bread ratings, Woolworths is one of the major brands included in the nationwide comparison set. That matters because you're not guessing from a couple of reviews. You're looking at broad consumer survey data. On the product side, independent comparisons also show Woolworths has higher fibre options in market. For example, Choice's current white bread review set lists Woolworths high fibre white sandwich with a 4-star health star rating. That's not the end goal if you're trying to maximise whole grains, but it's a practical step up for families transitioning away from plain white bread. Where Woolworths becomes a solid buy is when you push one step further. Choose wholemeal or grainy loaves, then use the Nutrition Information Panel to check sodium. Heart Foundation's Salt Advice, published May 19th, 2025, is clear that reducing salt supports healthier blood pressure. Bread can look harmless, but sodium stacks up quickly across toast, sandwiches, and snacks. Quick pause. If you're finding this research useful, and you're still with me, drop a comment with the number 4 so we know you're here. And if this is your first time watching, please consider subscribing and hitting the notification bell. It helps keep these fact-checked, Australia-focused breakdowns coming. Alright, back to it. Now, the checklist that makes the rest of this video actually usable. First, treat the front of the pack as marketing and the back as the evidence. FSANZ's labelling guidance, published 30 September 2025, explains what has to be on pack, including ingredient lists and key labelling requirements, and their allergen labelling guidance explains why clarity matters. Second, use the Health Star rating properly. The official Health Star rating system guidance, updated December 2025, positions it as a tool for comparing similar packaged foods, not a magic health pass. So compare bread with bread, not bread with yogurt. Third, for healthy bread, look for whole grains and fibre first, because that aligns with Heart Foundation's 2025 Heart Healthy Eating Advice and Health Direct's 2025 recommendation to swap refined grains for whole grain options. Fourth, check sodium per 100 grams and aim lower when you can, because Heart Foundation's 2025 salt advice focuses on reducing salt to support blood pressure. Finally, always compare unit price per 100 grams. The ACCC's 2025 Supermarkets Inquiry Report makes it clear why. Promos and tactics can distort value signals, but unit pricing brings it back to reality. Number 3. Helga's. Helga's earns a spot here because it sits in that sweet spot of widely available, consistently chosen, and easy to upgrade within the range. Canstar Blue's 2026 wholemeal bread ratings includes Helga's among the national brands people are actively buying and rating for satisfaction, taste, and value signals. Now, to make Helga's a genuinely healthy bread buy, the move is not to chase the softest loaf. It's to pick the grainier, higher fibre option, and then validate it with the nutrition panel. That lines up cleanly with Heart Foundation's 2025 advice to focus on whole grains as part of a heart-healthy eating pattern, and with FSANZ's 2025 labelling rules designed to make those comparisons consistent across brands. This is also where people feel the difference in real life. Grainy breads tend to keep you fuller for longer, and you taste the texture and seeds. If you're mostly using bread for toast and open sandwiches, that shift alone can reduce the 2 more slices habit. So Helga's is a buy, but only when you buy the right part of the range. Then confirm with the label. Number 2, Tip Top. Tip Top is a strong, practical pick because it gives you multiple ways to move toward healthier bread without forcing a lifestyle overhaul. It's also one of the major brands included in Canstar Blue's 2026 wholemeal bread ratings, meaning it's in the mainstream comparison set Australians are actually buying week to week. Where Tip Top gets extra support from independent testing is in Choice's current bread reviews. For example, Choice lists Tip Top the One White Sandwich with a 4.5 health star rating, and shows it as a recommended product in their white bread set. That's useful for households who want a softer, familiar loaf, but still want a better nutrition profile than basic white bread. The important part is not to stop thinking once you see a high star rating. The Health Star Rating Guidance, updated in 2025, is designed to help comparisons. But Heart Foundation's 2025 eating advice still points you toward whole grains as the long-term pattern. So Tip Top becomes a buy brand when you either choose a higher fibre option, like the One for convenience, or you step up into wholemeal and grain loaves for the bigger whole grain win. Number 1. Wonder. Wonder takes the top spot today because we've got both mainstream consumer survey support and clear, independent, recommended signals. Wonder is one of the brands included in Canstar Blue's 2026 wholemeal bread ratings, which already puts it in the national conversation for satisfaction and day-to-day buying. But the bigger reason is Choice's product-level results. Choice's current bread reviews mark Wonder Whole Grain, White Smooth Whole Grain as recommended, with a Choice expert rating of 78% and a nutrition score of 80%. They also mark Wonder Active Low GI Plus Protein as recommended, with a Choice expert rating of 77% and a nutrition score of 90%, and they list that product with a 4.5 Health Star rating. Here's why that matters for real households. A lot of people want the benefits of whole grains, but they also want a soft texture for kids' lunches or quick toast. Wonder's recommended whole grain white style products can act like a bridge. You get a more favourable nutrition profile while keeping the "this still tastes like regular bread" feeling. Then you can gradually move toward grainier wholemeal loaves over time, which aligns with Heart Foundation's 2025 Heart Healthy Eating Pattern advice and Health Direct's whole grain swap guidance. So number 1 isn't saying Wonder is perfect. It's saying the evidence is stronger here than most. Broad consumer survey visibility plus independent product testing calling out specific loaves as recommended. So that's the list. 3 bread brands to avoid as default buys based on documented FSANZ recall alerts, and 6 better picks supported by consumer survey data, standardized labeling rules, and independent product assessments. The empowering takeaway is simple. Companies rely on you shopping fast, but the official record shows you can shop smarter with the tools already on pack. Ingredient lists and nutrition panels under FSANZ labeling rules, Health Star ratings under the government-backed system guidance, and public warnings when things go wrong. Have you tried any of these brands lately? Did any of the recall-based avoids surprise you? Or have you seen another bread product Australians should fact-check next? If this helped, hit like so YouTube shows it to more Australians who shop on a budget but still want real evidence. Subscribe for more Australia-focused, source-backed breakdowns. And drop your bread pick in the comments, plus what you check first on the label. Shop smart with the facts, and we'll see you in the next one.